Go.
Hey guys, welcome back to Kiwi Classics and Customs. We're back on the Black Beauty today. As you can see, we've got the engine out, trans is out. So yeah, this is already telling us a few stories. We've got an issue with these mounts. Now, these are Heights mounts. They were made for a 427, sorry. FE block, but this is an early block and it doesn't have the 4 bolt holes, the 4 bosses. It just has the 2. So we got to modify this, get it centralized over the bolt points so it doesn't overly stress them. That's not that big a deal. The issue we really got is that now we've actually got the rack bolted up. If you look down here, with the rack bolted in place, you need about 9 inches front to back for this cross member and the rack, and that has to fit up in here, which, as you can see, right on about 9 inches. So there's really no wiggle room there. What we got to do, we've got rid of the master cylinder so that's not fouling us up. I'm going to drop it down in there and just see where it lies. You know, once it's over the rack in the position where Heights would have you put it. We've just got to get rid of this old mount here that they've tacked in. Not very well, but they tacked it in. So, let's drop this puppy back in the hole, see where she lies.
Pretty close to the firewall. Oh no.
We've got to keep coming forward because of this annoying rack that's in there. Well, it's not really annoying, it's a great idea. But it does, you know, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. And this is what you've kind of got to factor in. You can see it just kind of fits there. And not really very well. So this is why I know a bunch of you guys said, hey, we used to be able to put old 390s in, you know, in our 67.8 Mustangs. You just got some different mounts and away you went, you know. The difference we have here is that it's a Heights front suspension and there's a steering rack where the oil pan goes on your traditional 390 FE block. So it just doesn't quite work. So at the moment this engine doesn't really want to go much lower than about there, which it makes it very high, makes it very far forward here. There's really just no room for a radiator. If we take the radiator she arrived with, this is kind of one of what we're fighting here, is that, as you can see, yeah, the front of the water pump pulley's buried into this whole assembly. It's just not going to work. So, basically that's why, yeah, you can't get an old set of 390 mounts and just toss her in there. It's not going to work with that Heights front suspension. So I'm going to lift it up and I'll kind of share the plan with you.
Fun. That looks fun.
This is why I don't need to go to the gym. That's my workout for the day. Right, so the plan is we need to get the engine back. Now the Mustangs have this hump here in the firewall, which was to make room for the heater box. Now this car's getting air conditioning. It's going to have a much smaller heater AC box. So we're going to cut this lump out of here, flatten that off, kind of back to this level, which gives us 2 inches we can slip back without really too much in the way of compromises. And what we're going to do then is down here on the rack, we're going to move the rack forward. We're going to take a little notch out of the cross member here. So that'll be, we'll take a notch kind of there and move the rack forward a little bit, and that will allow this piece of the pan where the oil pump is to just drop in between them. Move the engine back probably 4 inches, which, you know, and it'll sit in there. We'll have room for the radiator, room for the pulleys, room for airflow as well. You know, if you jam too much in too close to the radiator, you can't get air through it, and you're forever going to have overheating issues. So a few little cuts here and there, get it back. Not in the easiest place to put it, but we're going to put it in the best place. That's the key thing. All right, we're going to keep working. Back in a moment. Okay, so we've got everything cleared off the firewall. We've got the sound deadening out from behind it. Now we can start cutting. Ta-da!
Oh, there it is.
There you go. What a big hole. That should excite the customer no end. A little bit more fine trimming on there just to get this lined up. But we'll do a bit more trimming and we'll swing that engine back in the hole. Right. Got a big hole in the firewall. Should have another couple of inches of engine room. So let's see where it lands. We've slipped the rack a little bit forward on some spaces. And as you can see, we've gained a bunch of room here already. I mean, the radiator's about there. So we've won some room there. We just need to get a little more trimming, a little more tucking, and get us sitting down in there. We're going to keep at it. It looks looking pretty good. Run out of boom a little bit to get it back far over. That's about what we want. And as I say, we're not quite there yet, but that's roughly where we want it. So we've got room at the back here on the left-hand cylinder head, which is further back, sorry. That side's going to have a ton of room once the firewall goes in there. And yeah, that's where we're heading with this thing. Alright guys, back in a minute. So I'm happy with that. We're on the right track. I really do feel like it's all going to work. We're probably going to have to do a little bit of cutting around the bell housing area, just so we can actually get it on and off if you want to change the clutch. Yeah, so a little bit of tuck here, a little bit of cut there, and it'll be all good. We'll get stuck into doing all that, and we'll see you on the next episode. Hang in there guys.